made in Africa. Is this actually possible? Of course it is. There's some amazing stories out there of people who are doing awesome work on the ground in Africa, producing amazing textiles and working with designers across the world with textiles made in Africa. Handcrafted, handmade, African artisanal, handmade textiles. And I want to be able to share this whole story with you. Welcome to my video. I'm Jacqueline, the African Fashion Business Coach. I'm the director of African Fashion Guide and the author of the pioneering book, Fashion Africa. And today we're going to talk African textiles with the amazing Mariama of the company Mariama Fashion Production.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Welcome.
To share my work with you and your audience.
Awesome. It's funny, we were talking earlier, just saying that we met so many years ago, and what your people would recognize you for is the fact that you're not just gorgeous, but you always have your little flower. And it was through that I remembered when you spoke at the event that I spoke at in New York, and you came up and you asked a question, you came and spoke to me after. And since then, we've been connecting back and forth, and your work has just exploded more and more and more. But there's so many areas to your business and to your work. So could you tell us about the fashion production as well as your charity work? I think that's important to mention as well. Just give us an overview of the company and what it is that you do, the main company, and just a little bit about the charity so we can support what you're doing.
Oh, definitely, yes. It's definitely true, because I remember the time I met you, it was actually my organization who did the collaboration then with Tory Virtue. I remember, I think it was in 2012 or 13. Yeah, so I think I will start a little bit with our NGO, which is There Is No Limit Foundation. So I feel like, honestly, we're part of one of the first people to push, sustainability, including yourself, like the time we were talking about sustainability and artisans. I think it wasn't many people that was still, open for this kind of work. So yes, when we started our organization back in 2008, we automatically focused on women who was making textile. I am from the Republic of Guinea, West Africa, and we have a specific region in Guinea called Kindia. In Kindia, you have a lot of artisans, and then we tap into the female artisans over there, where we gave a small business loan to one woman who became very successful. Then we wanted to give more opportunities to more women. So today we have 300 women who's making textile. And yes, so in 2012, they are the one who did actually the collaboration with Tory Burch that made the textile. And then I saw how important that collaboration was, and more importantly for me was how much more we can do with African textile, how much more job we can create in Africa. So Mariama Fashion Production was born.
I love it, I love it, I love it. And this kind of business is what's so encouraging to see. So tell us about the production with the textiles. How did this start? I mean, you said you're from the Republic of Guinea, but how did this business start? What made you get into textiles of all things?
Well, if we're talking about textile, this is something that is in my DNA. This is something that I also felt like I brought with my MFP, Mariama Fashion Production, is the fact that if we look at Italy, for example, they always carry on into their family businesses. The French people also have this kind of tendency to do. We have big houses like Hermes that goes from back, or like the Fendi family, just to name a few. But I don't see African doing that much. So I wanted to start something like this. For example, my great-grandmother was a textile maker. My great-grandmother,
Hey.
And then, so she was very popular back in the days making textile, and I grew up in the home watching my mom, my aunties, like making tie-dye, like making beautiful prints. I wasn't allowed to join them because I was so young. I was watching already. So from very early age, my attention in artisanal work, textile, tie and dye was picked. I guess it was a matter of time to figure out that this is really the direction that I wanted to do also. And then, of course, in 2008, when we started our NGO, we tapped directly into that field.
Wow, wow. So at the moment, so what's from stepping into this field, you must have seen a lot of things and had to learn a lot of lessons and had some challenges. Could you share some of the lessons that you've learned of setting up a textile business in Africa or in
Definitely.
Guinea?
Yes. So I think because remember, I live in New York. You know, I've been living in New York for the past 19 years. I just travel a lot across the
Yes, you
African
do.
continent to work with artisans. And thank God now we are setting up our studios to a few places. But I think it was a big challenge, a lot of challenges for me, not only in Africa, but also even in America, or even now that we have entered the European market. So for me, the challenges was first the way people view African textile, and you know this field, this subject
Yep.
very much as well, is how the Westerners, other people was viewing our textile, or even how our artisans back home was making the textiles so colorful. So I think the biggest challenge was like how to connect both worlds together to create something that can be wear not only for one season but for every day. I think that was a very big challenge for me in both sides in America or in Africa. And I think also the fact, to change the mindset of the artisans. Because when I talk to a lot of designers or artisans or people who are in the fashion industry, everybody is complaining about the mindset,
Yeah.
And mindset may mean like just that these same artisans are used to create things in their own specific way. So when they come to bring them new ideas, they're not willing to try. And then so it takes some time to teach them. But once they get it, they become good. So I think that was very challenging. And another challenge for me was like how people can value the work that I'm doing. And I'm still, until today, fighting for this. And I think it's something going to take time, is something that, we have to put more effort into it, is that how much people will value the work that we're doing to pay us with the right price for our product, right? And we take like
Oh,
hours to
you're
design. So this is some of those challenges, but of course it's so much more.
yeah, you're tapping into an area that, oh gosh, we could probably be here forever. It's the value of products and pricing of products, because there is this association I can't get my words out, that if it's made by an artisan, is something that is people probably have in their mind, oh, it's just the people that you meet when you're going abroad, you're traveling, and they're just by the roadside. That's what people's mentalities are. They're not really thinking of the setups that you have. They're not thinking about the large quantities or medium-sized quantities that you're producing. They're thinking of the one-off kind of tourist industry. So then they want to think, I can get that cheap, or it's just supporting one person. But what you're saying, what I believe, is that you want people to recognize the value, because it's greater than that. It's not just a tourist product that you're making.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I think yes.
So for those who don't know about MFP, the fabrics that you do. So I know very much for the batiks and tie and dye, and you do these on, that's the main technique that you have at the moment, and you do them on variety of fabrics I've seen, but you can explain a bit more about that, please.
So as you can see already, I think the name of my our company says it all. It's Mariama Fashion Production. So fashion is everything that is about fashion. But of course, when you start a company, you have to start somewhere, and you need to be recognized for something. And for me, I wanted to start, of course, with something that I'm so good at, something that I understand, the tie and dye, something that I saw my mom, my grandmother, and my entire community working on. So I wanted to start, of course, with tie and dye. But at MFD, we don't only do tie and dye. It's actually all the what our clients are looking for the moment. We are doing a lot of hand weaving product now, because
Awesome.
yeah, we are doing a lot of work in the Ivory Coast, for example, with the artisan here. It's a lot of great weavers, and of course, we have been in other areas to take a look at what is going on, like Burkina Faso, Ghana, even in Guinea, you have people who weave. So I
Awesome.
also work with this kind of a product, but that's not the only thing we do. We paint in product. We have a hand painting. We do like crochet, embroidery. Of course, we do this.
Wow.
This is some of the things that many people don't know about what we do. But of course, MFP is an umbrella. It's a company that has like a huge vision, and I hope soon people will get the chance to see really what we are capable to do, because our vision really, as we consider ourselves the leading African handmade textile and accessory company, is really to work on quality. Because as we talked earlier about values, of
Yeah.
course we want people to value us, we also have to bring that quality. So we are really working the quality, but of course, the most important for us, sustainability.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you're speaking my language. You know which are my hashtag words. Like, so I love this. I love everything about what you're doing. I love the energy. I love the charitable arm. I love the fact that it's connected to your heritage. It's not just because it's in you. It's part of you. It's part of your generations. That's great to bring that heritage back through. So the fact that you're working with traditional textiles, handmade skills, and artisans and so forth. What's some of them? We talk about the challenges, which there's going to be that. What's the positives and the exciting things about working with African producers and manufacturers? What's the great things that you found so far?
Oh my God, so much. It's so much great
I
things.
love
And I can tell you, the first great thing is that, I think many people who knows me, I don't think they will have ever imagined me coming back to Africa and, like stay as much as I'm staying. I mean, I'm
oh, right.
almost here. And so that's a positive thing, because if it's because I'm seeing so much opportunity, I'm seeing so much change in these artisans. I think the positive things for me is that when I see that we were MFP, our team, is able to transform the life of the artisan. Like you say, we do have the NGO, but all of my companies is actually with the same kind of mentality, creating job, changing people's lives. So when
Wow.
I look at an artist that we started with who didn't have any skills, or who was just starting off, who didn't understand colors or how to do a great finished, and then we start working with that artist, and after a couple of months, we see the change he's bringing in their life. For me, that's so positive, because one thing that people need to understand about the work we're doing with Mariama Fashion Production is that we give like a small percentage of our sales to There Is No Limit Foundation.
Awesome. That's the connection, and that makes so much sense. Okay, so how many artisans are you working with at the moment, would you say?
Oh, we are growing. We are growing. Honestly, I think we are soon, honestly, to reach like thousands more, because what we do
Wow.
basically is that each going, we're setting up like a project with different artisans. We work with them independently in other countries that we go. Of course, in Abidjan, we have our specific group of artisans. In Guinea, we have the 300 women. But this is something that is really growing. The vision of Mariama Fashion Production is to work with every single artisan across the African continent, not
Wow.
only training, but we have other things like capacity building, like really making them understand how to do great product in order for us to compete in international market, for the made in Africa to also be like the made in France and made in Italy. And this
Thank
is something
you. Thank you.
so we kind
Thank
of like,
you.
yeah.
No, sorry to interrupt. I just want to just salute you, say thank you, because that is just what I just love to hear. It's music to my ears. Yeah,
Yeah.
because changing people's perceptions and changing the narrative around it through the vehicle of fashion and textiles, that's something that I've been championing and speaking about for the last 10 years. And to meet people like you, it's just like great minds think alike, and that's why I'm totally in love with what you're doing. So let's now talk about
Yeah.
your business. Your
Before
business.
you go,
Oh, go for it.
before you even like add something, because I feel like you and I from the beginning we always focused on the business part of fashion. For me, Mario Fashion Production, I would say we are one of the, you and I and some people, we've been one of the leading people to really talk about the business part of fashion. Because I mean, I think there was a lot of fashion shows here and
Yeah,
there, but from the beginning, we thought of how can we bring the business part of fashion into the continent? How can we bring capacity building, skill trainings? So
that's
this
right.
is some of the things that is also very important to know, that for me, fashion is not only making a textile, fashion is not only making a great product, fashion for me is also bringing income, bringing that
Yes.
business part. really showing the skill training to the artists and inspire the emerging designers to, to move forward and opening that door for them in the international market.
That's right. It should make money. Absolutely. It's not just, okay, it looks nice. It's, does it convert to sales? And that's what I wanted to ask you about, because you are a businesswoman and you're doing this not just because you like it, but there's opportunity and you're creating impact and you're creating jobs, and you're increasing capacity for many of these artisans that, you know, you're growing with. So what kind of, because the way that your business is that you do work a lot with international designers, but what's your main kind of sales channel? Is that really the consulting, or is that the way the business is set up then? Or do you have shops? Do you have other sales channels basically?
So basically, before what we were doing, before in the beginning of Mariama Fashion Production, we worked directly with international brands and then partner directly with the artisans. This is the model that we've been doing. That means like we make our own product in Africa, we show to designers, and we've been very lucky that they love it. You know, sometimes they don't really change anything. I don't think. I think most of the time is our product that the designers are just using straight, and they're just changing colors. Some of them has been inspired to create the entire collection through our colors. For me, that's good. But like I said, my company is a growing, our company is a growing company. You know, we have so much new things that's coming up. We are opening our showroom in few places. You know, around the world. We will soon you will know which are the first countries we have picked to open our showroom. So in the showroom now, you will see people will be other people beside the brands that we work in will be able to come, of course, by appointment, because we still want to keep that quality and that will come and trying to see our product, feel our product, and see the vision that we want to do. We're also opening our doors for more, to create more job for like emerging designers in Africa or even overseas, for them to come in Mariama Fashion Production showroom and to create graphic design, textile, print, and other areas. So I hope, I think sometime this year, people may be able to see what we are working on.
It's a huge machine that's still in, even though you've done it for a while, it's still in its early years in your vision. In your head, you've probably seen 10 years ahead. But for us, we're still kind of catching up to it. But it's huge. It's huge. And you're visionary. Now, this is just amazing. Yeah. So just building your brand, building...
I mean,
sorry, go for it.
No, I'm listening to you. No, I was saying like, of course, I'm always, for me, what people see in 2020 is something that I have worked on already in 2016. Yes. So I have so much already vision that I have for this is way bigger. It's way bigger than people can imagine, because I really believe that the work I have picked is bigger than me. This is what I always say to people. The work I have picked is bigger than me. Mariama Fashion Production is beyond Mariama. For me, I even choose the name Mariama not because I want to be vain or like a narcissist. No, I picked this name because I want every single young African woman or every single woman who are there, who started with no money or who started with struggle, to understand that if Mariama has done it, we can do it too. For me, this is a testimony. It's something that I want to leave on this earth, even beyond, after I'm gone. I want this to continue. I want my children, I want generations to continue with the mentality and the vision of Mariama Fashion Production and continue tapping into the talent of Africa and our craftsmanship.
That's just amazing. So this, I was going to just ask you about that, because it is a brand that you've built up. And, you know, for those who are even thinking, how do I start the brand? A brand as in MFP is a brand in itself. It's not like a, you know, a retail shop brand in that sense, but as a company, it's got a brand, it's got an ethos, it's got an image and a look. How did you put those things in place? Was it just a vision you always had, or you built that as you went along?
So, well, for those who knows a little bit about me, they know that I'm a big dreamer. I always been a big dreamer. There is that I always dream bigger than me. There is no such a thing in my world as something small. So when, of course, I was building Mariama fashion production, before I even start, I already placed many, you know, piles together. Of
Yeah,
course, as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, we always have to innovate, So it's not much that is changing. What we're doing actually, we're just rebranding, we're innovating, but these things that we're doing now was already in place. Now it's just like the matter of fact, to bring in the right person to come to work with us, the right designer, the right artisans, the right mindset, or the right collaboration, just like I'm talking with you.
yeah.
So I think it's just a matter of fact of fixing and making better what we already have. But already I have this empire placed in my mind right here.
Empire, I love it. I love it. No, but it's good. If you can't see, you definitely cannot achieve it. You need to be able to see in your mind's eye as a creative to be able to then put it out there in the world. And like I said, I've got amazing visions in my head of things I've been building. Five visions are 5 years old. I still need to do it. Books are 5 years old. Ideas are 10 years old. And I know exactly what it feels like. It bubbles up inside until you get it out, and you just have to do it. But
And that's what I love about you, honestly, because I remember when I saw you at the FIT, I mean, when I heard, I think a friend of mine told me that, oh, you have to go to FIT, there's an African woman talking about African fashion.
mm,
And for me, because I have stayed so much, so long in New York, I didn't really started going a lot in Africa. So I was so excited to come and see your talk, and I was mesmerized by you. And then I really salute your work ethic, because so many people will have already give up, and then you've been giving so much into this project. You believe so much in textile. You've been doing so much, and I think really thank you for that, because the
oh,
young generation need a role model. And then now I see that, from where we started, and now I look around, so many people are
I
coming
know.
in, so many people are doing it. It's good. It
I
seems
know.
like we started this evolution of African textile, and it's a good thing.
Exactly. No, I'm really excited about the fact that the way that has grown, because yeah, I'm curious where's it going to go to, but we just have to keep on our visions and just keep consistent. I think that's what it is. It's a consistency, because also along the same journey, you've probably seen many who were there with us, but then they've fallen by the wayside. They maybe set up a shop, or they set up a label, and they've closed it, had a production house. I was just talking to a client about a manufacturing unit that I knew in Tanzania some years back, and they closed. And shortly after, and it's like this. I've heard so many stories along the way, but the race is for the swift, it's for the brave. Is to
I
keep.
agree with you. I feel like, yes, of course, myself, I have seen so many people started and fall off, because it's not an easy task. And this is what I always say to people. When you do something, you have to be a true passion. For me, the reason why we are into it is because we have passion for this. It's not because we're not having challenges. If it's only for challenges, we would have stopped a long time ago. But
Yeah,
it's the fact that we have passion for this. This is what is keeping us going. So if somebody come in without this same passion, and once they hit the roadblock, because it's a very difficult things to do, right? You need consistency and so many things in order to sustain this work, even money, right? And funding, because you have to be, most of the things have to be self-fund,
yep,
in order to continue.
yep, absolutely. So, okay, two last questions. One is about logistics, and the second one's about advice. So, this is the main bane for African designers, and what people get confused about or unsure about is logistics and shipping. Do you have any recommendations or any thoughts about dealing with the logistics of exporting from the continent, working with international markets? Do you have anything to say on that point?
This is such a great topic, because this is one of the part of my work where I want to like scream like no, because because first you have to think of like first the tax.
Mm.
When I'm working with brands, sometimes they need certain materials that is not yet produced here in Africa. Of course, my first choice is to always propose to them what we can find in the market, because I want to, again, help out the sellers, the vendors, to have like economic empowerment, and to create some kind of income for them. But unfortunately, not every designers want to use the print. So, for example, we've been having a lot of little issues with some, because for example, if a textile is coming out of India to come in, example, we in Ivory Coast, the taxes can be like very much sometimes like logistic stuff, but moreover, I think our government need to review, the shipping and the tax cost, especially when it comes to a company like us who's coming to Africa to be able to attract international brands to produce in Africa. I think that is something that needs to be reviewed. But if I must suggest a company to work with that I have find it very good is FedEx.
Oh,
FedEx has been really good. Yes, FedEx has been really good because they kind of take care of some of these taxes ahead. Once your client has like a FedEx account, because that's how we work. Most our clients directly pay for the shipping, and at the same time when we finish, we give it to them. But here in Ivory Coast, I have also managed to find small companies who can ship for other clients because we deal with like large quantities. If we're making like 3,000 yards for clients, sometimes it may be FedEx may be too much to ship it with. So if you have like a small,
like
shipping company by air, I think that should definitely try to create like a relationship with those small companies and see how everybody it can be a win-win business, but still, in a legal way.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the challenges I've always found, and the need is really just more processing of textiles and creation of new textiles on the continent. Obviously starting with cotton, but then, having particular units that can produce other textiles, things like cellulosic textiles, because, the continent of Africa could grow things like more hemp and bamboos and things that need a tropical climate. And then this silk production and things like this that's already there on the continent, but to process it in a larger scale so Africa can own its own textile processing units and opportunity, because then if it's there with the Africa Free Trade Area stroke agreement, that's going to help support. So you can be doing your production in Guinea, getting your cotton from the new ginnery in Burkina Faso, and then getting some other textile from Madagascar, the silks that's being exported to Ivory Coast. So because of the agreement now between the African countries, I was really going to support, but we need to have the textiles being produced, like new textiles, not just the cotton, but new textiles. You don't have to import your silks or import your chiffons or whatever. Yeah, it's a bane of, but it's
really good. Yeah, I love the free trade because I was actually invited in Niger to talk on a business panel about the subject. Yeah, I think it's something that is so important. It's something that I'm so excited about, because especially for our company, because that's what we do. We work with different artisans, and this will be like that we all need. And then also, I feel like we need to review our cotton thing, because a lot of cottons are produced in Africa, but yet they are directly sold outside once it's ready. So like we have to keep as much as possible to make it accessible to companies here, to artisans here, and to definitely, to grow the African raw materials, field, factories.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so with you. So on the last point, it's just women of your experience, of your wisdom, of your business expertise. For the new designers maybe who are popping up now, who want to source in Africa, who want to produce there, who are seeking to set up business on the continent, just a couple of tips that you can give. Aside from don't do it, a couple of positive tips that you can advise.
First advice, be passionate. Okay? Be passionate, know that it's not an easy field, because that's very important to be prepared. Second, register your company. Register your company because if you because you want to make sure your company is legal, that you pay the taxes. You want to make sure that your company is structured, because sometimes you can just start it like this for fun, and then then it becomes something bigger. But it's so good if you have like a business plan, and the business plan don't really have to be like, oh my God, I have to have all the things together, but you just want to know where you're going. I always tell to people, if, for example, I'm in Abidjan, I'm planning to go to Paris, I need to have a GPS. If I don't have a
Yeah.
GPS, what happens? I'm going to go in circle. But
Yeah.
if you start this company and you know, okay, I'm going to do tie and dye, these are the colors I'm going to do, I'm going to sell it in my local market, or maybe I'm looking to sell this overseas. If you have these things in place, I think it makes it really easy for you. I definitely don't think that, either they don't have enough money or they have money should stop them, because I started all my company without a lot of money, but I had the vision and the dream and the passion. So that's why I started by passion, because if you have that, I think you can go. And the second thing I would say, do market research.
Okay.
Know the field that you're working in or you're entering. Know who are your competition. Find out what can make you stand out, out of the crowd, even if it's 1,000 people, where you can come and still put your product and you stand out. Think of your packaging, your marketing idea, your image, and the story you're going to tell. Because I feel like a story is very important. A company without a story is it's a minus. I think it's something will be missing. Find out what is your own story, and then just to build from there. And build a great team. And the great team doesn't mean 1,000 people. I do work with a lot of artisans, but my team in my office is it's few of us. And these few of us, we understand each other. We have the same vision. And then if we hire a new person, we need to make sure that that new person is also going toward the same vision that we're going. Because until you have people who can understand your brain, you can have, it's like a telepathy. I feel like it will be always a challenge in building your business.
Wow, that's some powerful. For some, on the surface, they may think, "Oh, that's simple, just to register my company and know where I'm going and all of these things." But if people really listen to what you're saying, these are foundational. It's building your house on the rock, okay, so it can stand when the storms come. That's really what you're saying. Do your due diligence, research, go out there. I say to people, you're gonna have to travel. If you want to do business in Africa, you have to travel. And that's why we do our trips to African countries. Take people to meet the makers and artisans and so forth. But you need to, because how else are you gonna really learn?
And because it's some of the things I see that a lot of people do, and this is maybe what make the company not stay. They wait until somebody else have a great idea and they took that idea and then they run with it. But you run into the surface of the idea. You don't know what is in the back of the person that has been building this company. So what happened is that you are just making a copy of something. You don't really understand which foundation, which vision this person has. So at the end of the day, whatever you're building is like you're building under the straw, so it will fall off. But if you come in and you become inspired by what that person is doing, but you put your own essence into it, I think that will make your company stay. Because at the end of the day, no matter what is in the world, somebody has done it before.
It's true.
It's how you could use ordinary things in an extraordinary way. I think for me, that's.
Bring your black girl magic to it. Your USP. Thank you so much, Mariama. I love you. I love what you're doing. You're a woman of my heart, and I totally support you. Wishing you every success with how things develop, and hopefully we can have another catch up at some point when, over the months and years, and as things grow and grow and grow, I can only see it doing miraculously well. You've done the foundation. You are a pioneer. You are a champion, and I salute you. Okay, so thank you so much, Mariama. God bless you.
And keep up with the great work, and thank you for opening the way for so many people. And I hope this video will help somebody that is out there who's trying to. And I'm here. We are here for you anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.